Thank you everyone for coming. I'm really excited about the day. The topic that we've chosen for today's conference and the topic that we've chosen to sort of remember and honor the Prophet Muhammad. This is Prophet Muhammad Day, and we've historically used this day as an opportunity to bring members of different faith traditions together to celebrate with the Muslim community. And the topic we've chosen is family. Why family? If we look at the life of the Prophet Muhammad himself, we see that his family was sort of formed the core of the locus of love and respect from which everything else flowed into his community. So in the Quran, we see that the Prophet asks his community, his ummah, he says, I ask of you nothing but love for my family. And of course, the worship of one God, that we all agree on. But this statement, this plea that the Prophet makes to his community for love and respect for his family, I think underscores how all of our faith traditions see family sort of as the locus of what this is all for. If you're not good to your family, if you don't have the proper structure and ethics and morals built in within your family, then everything is for naught. Everything else doesn't matter. And so much of the Quran is devoted to talking about family, to talking about how you should deal with your family, how you should deal with your parents. And then the stories of the prophets. We have the stories of Prophet Yunus and of Prophet Yaqub and Yusuf, Jacob and Joseph, is a story of family. It's a story of the trauma and the jealousies and all the tensions that exist within a family and how those play out. The mercy and the love of family members, with the mercy and love of Jacob for his sons and the mercy and love of Joseph for his brothers. We have stories like the story of Maryam and Nabi Isa, of Mary and Jesus. That's a story of family, this locus, this unit that they have and how they stick together, how the community accuses her and her son comes to her defense. In the story of Moses, the mother of Moses sends her son off into the river out of fear for his life. And then later she's reunited with him. And it says in the Quran, so that her heart might find peace, because her heart cannot find peace without her son, without this member of her family. So both in our laws, in our codes of ethics, and in our stories, family sort of comprises the center, the heart of what is important and what is meaningful. As religious people, as people of faith, we live in a secular society, and we buy into a lot of the myths that the society tries to impose on us. We buy into this myth that religion is something that is private, that is relegated to the mosque or to the church or to the synagogue, this thing that exists in a building that you visit once a week. But as people of faith, we know that religion is much more expansive. And having spaces like this, where we reflect on the shared elements of our faith, and we speak to one another, and we dig into the indigenous definitions of the most important components of our faith, like family, is so, so important. These conversations are so important, and I would urge all of us not to take them lightly. The family is something that our modern secular society does not respect in the same ways that our religious traditions respect. We see family now as something sort of silly, something unfortunate we have to deal with. This is the modern sort of image being pushed in media, in film, in books. It's like, oh, your family is something that you just have to deal with, but it doesn't comprise sort of the core of what's important in your life or the core of your responsibility. That lies outside. And I hope over the course of the talks today, we have many great accomplished speakers, mashallah. We sort of interrogate this and we come back to our traditions, and we come back to understanding what it means to be a part of a family, to be part of a family in the sense of your mother and your father and your brothers and your sisters, but also to be part of a faith family. The believers are described as brothers and sisters of one another in our traditions. The believing men and women, they're a family.